So, we're talking about the different cycles of nature. Cycles within cycles. Alright, so the only thing that we can count on as being linear is the eternal process of God or the Father dying, only to be resurrected again as the Holy Spirit. This is, as above, so below. This is manifesting in man as the individuation process. This is the life-death cycle, the yin-yang of all manifested creation for all God's or Brahma's spiritual atoms or fractal pieces of self or I amness. Now, every round of the life wave where God incarnates into flesh or dies so that he may be reborn again as the Son, in each life round we have the story of the tarot, the tale, the Torah. Now, in your writings just now, you were detailing the hyperdimensional realm of Middle Earth, this outer realm, spiritual realm, which shamans access, etc. Here, or I've dubbed it the land of the seven Elohim, or archangels. Okay, so they play out, they eternally are playing out this story of the tarot. Now, in the 22 cards of the tarot deck, you will find all 7 archetypes: Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, the Sun, or the Absolute, Venus, Mercury, and the Moon. They're all there in the tarot, and the tarot is telling this eternal story. And the lovely thing that makes it all so interesting is that the story is just an outline. The tarot leaves it fairly open for interpretation. So this is where the art comes in, or why each life cycle of God is different from the last. But it always improves upon itself due to the process of each spiritual atom within the all rounding themselves out through evolution, through self-growth, thus improving upon the body of Brahma. But there's always these opposing forces in the outer dark who don't take part anymore in the in-breath of Brahma. They don't reintegrate. They've been barred from the higher realms due to their wickedness. Without this recurring reintegration with Brahma, they start to lose their minds. They become insane. They develop multiple personality disorder. And it's these folk who populate this hyperdimensional realm And as their insanity increases, the Antichrist forces begin to populate and amass themselves on Middle Earth. And it is these black magicians who can change our timeline through their ritualistic mediumship possession of humans who become just vessels for the black magicians, who are themselves operating from Middle Earth as part of the Antichrist force, which itself is an eternally growing process as a natural result of this tension or opposition between Christ ever growing through Brahma's eternal in-breath and out-breath, and this outer dark force that have been barred from that realm and are just seeking to prolong their miserable, wretched existence through this loophole. And they, at any time, they can quit and rejoin Brahma, but they don't want to. It's their choice. That's hell. That's the real hell, and that's where they want to be. That's where they like it. They like the decadence and depravity. Now remember, each of the 7 Elohim have their individual vice, right? The 7 deadly sins attached to them. So they're never perfect. They're eternally flawed with their gifts and detriments or vices. But you can't judge them. They're not judged on equal terms as humans because they're not individualities. They're manifested soul archetypes of the One, whereas us humans are individuated spirit atoms of the One. That's the difference. So they, being archetypal, will never fully change their essential characteristics, whereas human atoms, having their own individuated spirit, are eternally changing upwardly, an upward spiral, whereas the archetypes go around and round in circles because they're not. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so but we need that because that's the story, the eternal story, and it plays out in the skies. So every cycle is written in the stars according to the traveling of the planets, right? And their different aspects. See, so only God or Brahma has full knowledge or awareness of how the full astrological significances play themselves out throughout the entire linear life wave of his life, death, resurrection cycle. The 7 Elohim have partial knowledge of what the stars are reading, the initial blueprint. Partial knowledge, so they can partially change, right, the history. And it can be changed for good or bad because, again, they're dualistic